Good morning, students. Welcome to the English class. Today I will be handling with the next chapter in your book Reflection, in your course book. Hope you all have purchased the books with you all. This is the fourth chapter that I will be starting off today. Open to page number 30. Page 30. The chapter's name is Oru Manushyan. Oru Manushyan. This is written by Wycombe Muhammad Bashir. The writer's name is Wycombe Muhammad Bashir. Okay, we'll just do a brief intro about the author. Who is he? Page number 36. Wycombe Muhammad Bashir, he was born in 1908 and he died in 1994. He is a well-known Malayalam short story writer and novelist. He is known for his sympathetic portrayal. Sympathetic is when you look at the character, you feel sympathized towards that person. Okay, portrayal of the joys and sorrows of the ordinary life. Ordinary life is the life of a common man. His stories have been translated into English and various Indian languages. He was honorary fellow of the Sahitya Academy in 1970. He was the recipient of the Central Sahitya Academy Award and Padma Shri in 1982. Okay, so he is basically a Malayali writer, and this story is being translated from Malayalam, and this story was titled as A Man. A Man. The story was titled as A Man. Basically, this is what the meaning of Oru Manushyan is. Manushyan is a man, a man. Okay. I'll be starting off with the lesson. Over to page number 30. You have a pre-reading activity which says, who according to you is a good human being? Think of these qualities in a person. If I had to ask you a question, who according to you is a good human being? You might give me different kinds of answers, like a person who helps others, a person who is good towards others, okay, a person who does something very nice, good, who is a jovial person. Definitely you will not say who is a good person according to you. You will not say that a thief is a good person. A person who is very rude with others is a good person. A person who is harsh with others, who disobeys someone, who disrespects someone is a good person. We don't say that. We know what are the good qualities and the bad qualities in a person. So if I had to ask you a question, ask yourself who is a good person according to you and jot down the points in your textbook. Now you have certain qualities over here. See, option A, you have helping the needy. Is it good or bad? You need to get the answer. So definitely 100% of the people will say that yes, it is a good quality. Extracting money from others. Extracting money is you say something wrong, or you tell lies and take money from people. That is not a good habit. Living a self-contented life. Self-contented life is you only think about yourself. You are not bothered about others. Being violent. Okay. Being violent. Do you think it's good? No. Okay. In this lesson, you will get to know that the life of an ordinary man, how a person is coming. A man, Oru Manushyan. I will start with the story. You can understand exactly what it is. Okay. See, page number 30, Oru Manushyan, written by Wycombe Muhammad Bashir. You have no definite plans. You can see the lesson is beginning with the pronoun you. So here it is mentioning to people. Okay, it is mentioning to you. You have no definite plans. You are wandering around far away from home. You are somewhere away from home, and you neither have money. You have no money with you. You do not know the local language. Just imagine a condition. You are far away from home. You don't know their language. Neither do you have any money with you. What are you going to do? At least, if you know how to speak with them, maybe you can take some help from the person. But what happens when you are in a totally different land where you do not understand their language and neither do you have money with you to buy anything? Definitely you are going to face the consequences over there. So he says you can speak English and Hindustani. Hindustani is nothing but Hindi. But very few people know either of these languages. There, people neither can understand Hindi nor they can understand English. Very few can understand these languages. This can land you in many predicaments. Okay, what do you mean by predicaments? Predicaments is many difficult situations. It can land you in many different predicaments. Okay, so here he says that this can land you in many predicaments, that is dangerous situations. Many adventures can be for you. Many adventures is because you don't know the language, you don't know the people, you don't have money. How are you going to encounter with the people? So you are going to face many kinds of adventures. Adventures is, it might be difficult adventures that come upon you because you are unable to understand what the other person is talking, nor can that person understand what you are speaking. You find yourself caught in a dangerous situation. Still, he's talking about you as an individual. Imagine yourself, you have been caught in a dangerous situation. A total stranger rescues you. A total stranger. A stranger whom we do not know at all. He comes to your rescue. Rescuers, he helps you. Even after years pass by, you will sometimes remember the man and wonder why he did so. Okay? After many years have passed also, you will think, okay, a stranger came to my rescue, a stranger came and helped me, but still you are wondering, what was the necessity, what was the need for the stranger to come and help me? Okay, he says, let us say it is I, not you, who remembers the man. Now, firstly he used the pronoun I. Now he said, it is not you, it is I. He's saying, just imagine that it is me who is remembering the man and he had helped me. I am now narrating an experience which I had. So now the real story begins. He begins the story saying that imagine you are in a difficult situation. You are in a land where the people don't understand your language, neither you can understand their language. You only know that you are speaking English or you speak Hindi. But what is happening over here? He says there are many predicaments that fall upon you. There is many dangerous situations. The adventures come upon you, and you find yourself caught in a very dangerous situation. And who comes to your rescue? A complete stranger comes to your rescue, and he says that how even after years pass by, what are you doing? You remember that man, and you literally wonder that why did this man come and help me? He says. Now, he says, let us say that it is not you who is remembering the man, it is I. So, the narrator, okay? So, he starts narrating his experience saying, I am now narrating an experience which I had. I had some vague notions. Vague notions is somewhat different kinds of notion I had, okay? He's saying, I had some vague notions about human beings, including myself, okay? What is he saying? Vague notions is different kinds of notions he had about human beings, including myself. Notions is nothing but the idea. He's saying, I had some different kind of ideas about human beings, including myself, until and unless I underwent this situation. He says, there are around me good men and thieves, those who suffer from various infectious diseases and from madness. He's saying, around each and every one of us, you can see that there are different kinds of people, like we have good men also, we have thieves also, but we are unable to understand who exactly are we with. He says there are people who are suffering from infectious diseases, as well as we have people who are completely out from madness. He says one has to live carefully. When you have to live in this world, you have to live carefully because you don't know what kind of people you are living around. There might be good people as well as there might be bad people. The ones whom we might think they are extremely good, they might turn out to be bad. The ones whom we think they are bad, they might turn out to be good. So he says one has to live carefully. The world has more evil than good. This statement, the world has more evil than good. It speaks too much about this world, that how in this world where people are being trusted, where people are Then he says, we realize this only after we get hurt. When do we realize this? Only after we get hurt. Usually what happens? People say that how you are, you see the other person the same way. If you are good, even if the person is bad, what happens? You consider that person to be good. If you are bad, even if the person is good, you consider that person to be bad, because it is all in your point of view how you are looking at a person. Okay? Then he says, let me record here that incident which was perhaps quite insignificant. Insignificant is that was not important at all. He's saying, let me record. Let me tell you one incident that happened to me that was unimportant. It was quite a big city in the valley of a mountain, some 1,500 miles from home, the inhabitants of which had never been known for the quality of mercy. So here he is saying that it was quite a big city where the narrator had gone. Narrator, the one who is narrating the incident. Okay? The narrator had gone to a big city. How far was the big city? One more question will be asked. The big city was 1,500 miles away from home, the inhabitants of which they had never known for the quality of mercy. They did not understand what exactly mercy was for them. They were cruel people, murder, robbery, pickpocketing. Okay? Murder, robbery, pickpocketing. These were daily occurrences. Okay, the narrator, where he lived in a city, their murder, robbery, and pickpocketing were daily occurrences. People used to do it with so much of this thing that they did not feel that what they are doing is bad. By tradition, the people were professional soldiers. Some of them went to distant places and lent out money on interest. Some of them, what did they do? They went to the distant places and they lent out money on interest. Okay, they were professionally soldiers. One more question will be asked. The people where the narrator lived, what were they by profession? They were professionally soldiers. Many others served as watchmen in banks, mills, and large commercial establishments in big cities. Okay, many others, they were the watchmen where? They were watchmen in the banks, mills, and large commercial establishments in the big cities. Money was highly valued by them. How was money valued by them? Money was highly valued. They did not feel that people are important. What they felt is money is important for them. For money, they would do anything, even commit murder. For money, what they would do? They would even commit murder for the money. You know how money has begun. We all know that people need to control money, but what is happening? Money is controlling people. We can see if people have money, they can go away with whatever they want. I stayed in that city in a very small dingy room on a dirty street. I stayed. I is referring to a narrator. Okay? When you are writing your answers, please make sure that you don't write I stayed. You are going to write that the narrator stayed. Okay? Where did he stay? The narrator stayed in that city in a very small dingy room. Dingy room is a very dark room where there is no proper ventilation. On a dirty street. I carried on a profession there, teaching English to some migrant laborers from 9:30 till 11 in the night. I started a profession of teaching English. Who is I? The narrator started teaching English to whom? He started teaching English to some migrant laborers. Okay, from 9:30 till 11 in the evening. It is not in the morning, it is in the evening. I taught them to write addresses in English. Learning to write an address in English was considered great education there. Now it might seem very naive to us that how people writing address also is something to be taught. Yes, at that time it was very important that people wrote addresses. There was a person who used to sit in the post office and charge the people just to write the address. So learning to write address was of great education at that time. You must have seen people who write addresses at the post office. They were paid anything between 1 anna and 4 annas for writing an address. Okay, 1 anna is nothing but 16 paise. Okay, 1 anna to 4 annas for writing an address. I taught the skill of writing addresses to the people in order to escape the same fate myself and to see if I could save some money. He says, why did he start teaching English? He started teaching to write people address because he wanted to escape the same fate. Same fate is, if people don't have money, they will start killing each other, they will start robbery and pickpocketing. He said that to escape this kind of fate, I did not want to become a bad person. To escape such kind of fate, what did I do? I started teaching people to write address in English and I started earning from that. Okay. In those days, I would sleep all day and wake up at 4 in the evening. This was to save the expense of drinking my morning tea or eating the noon meal. So it says that in those days, he used to sleep the whole day and he used to wake up only at 4 o'clock in the evening so that he could skip his morning breakfast and his tea and the afternoon meal and directly he can eat something in the evening and he could survive. Okay, so I will stop the rest of here and continue in my next video. Thank you, students.